Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
I found it, Mike. Time to.
Well, yeah,
It's
team,
time, Mike.
The Team ROW comeback today was brief, albeit spirited.
Well, they got their money's worth out of it. That's for sure. You can't deny that.
With climbing on the table, that was like their own white flag to me. That was like Federer and Sky asking for a beer after they finally won a match. It was kind of like, okay, we know this is over, but let's have some fun for the 2 minutes we've got a point on the board.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? Gotta enjoy the moment as best you can.
Yeah.
You know, and put Matchroom on their heels for a little bit too, kind of making them scramble to get the table level all over again. But, yeah. You doing all right, buddy?
Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning, Mike, again. I was like, you know what? I'm not too interested in this team match. And as soon as I got up, it was right towards the end, hearing that they actually got the point. So that was great. I mean, you know,
I think when they were up 4-2, and then they, gave up the next 2 games and it was 4-4. I thought, this is not going to go well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I didn't want to start the show like this, but since, you know what I mean? Since
you called the over under 3, which is a push, so I wasn't wrong either.
But it's because I knew. The whole point of it was the most I was going to go and give those guys from the rest of the world was 1 game. Mike, shoot me a PM. I'll send you a piece of town chalk for that funny little nugget there. Yeah, look, we got a let's see. Oh, Telfer's in the chat too. Look at this. He says he's not trying to go full blast on Facebook. Jim, we welcome Tilted Jim Telfer on the show, Jim. Just so you know. So. But Mike, I'm used to having a Hall of Famer on this show. We got another one here today, Mike. So I had to bring in.
Yeah,
he had some interesting takes over the course of the last few days. He's been filming some stuff with his new masterclass program online, which we're going to ask him about as well. I don't think he needs much of an introduction. Multiple-time Mosconi Cup winner, multiple-time world champion, Dynamite Darren Appleton. Welcome back to the show, my man. How are you?
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, I'm doing good. Can't complain. I'm doing better than the rest of the world. Let's put it that way.
I was gonna say, yeah. Let me ask you, Darren. What's your first take on everything you've seen over the last couple of days, man?
Oh, Jesus! It's the first time I've watched pool really for a long time. When I watch the whole tournament, like usually I might watch the odd match here and there, like the US Open final, World 9-ball final, but I haven't really been connected to the game really for a while. But I have watched this Reyes Cup, and I just can't believe how disorganized the rest of the world is, how much they don't look together as a team. The amount of talking between shots is just incredible. Ridiculous, and not only just talking, there's 2 or 3 players jumping up to have an input. And you're looking at world-class players. I mean, I understand if that player asks for help, but just ask for one player, you know what I mean? Like a Fedor or a Jason, wherever. But when 2 or 3 of them are all jumping out of their chair and they want to have an input, and you're on the shot clock as well, I mean, it's just, it's not a good look. Where the Asians, you get one guy what steps up if they need help, right? And when they do talk, it's just very simple. Look, maybe you can do this, but if you don't like it, play your own shot. And that's the way it should be, you know what I mean? And it's just all over the place. I just can't believe it, to be honest. Yeah, disappointing regards a fan of the game, and you're looking forward to a great match because before the event you're thinking, oh, this could be close. You know what I mean? It's obviously the rest of the world on paper, in my opinion, is not as strong as what it could be, but I mean they're still great players. And same with the Asian team. You can say the same about the Asian team, but it's just disappointing that the lack of being a team really is the big disappointment for me. Is that I think they've let themselves down.
Yeah, well, anytime someone's getting clobbered, they don't look like a team. I mean, we've seen it with Team USA many times. But if you talk to the players on their team, they'll disagree with you. I mean, we've talked to every time I've talked to Team USA after they've gotten slaughtered, they say, "Oh, we're absolutely together. We believed in each other. We had each other's back. We were trying to." So it's it's kind of hard to. It's very easy to look at a team that's getting beat like this and say you look disorganized, you look like you're not together. But I'm not. Would they agree with you?
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's like they're trying to have too much fun, and they're just trying to enjoy it. And then just if they enjoy it, they might bring the best out of themselves. But I think they've gone over the top that way. But I think the same things happened with the Mosconi Cup the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, that's what I was saying. You're talking to American fans, so we've seen this with Team USA a million times, where they're getting trounced, and then there comes some point where it's just like, okay, let's just have fun,
let's enjoy it,
and ask for a couple of beers, and maybe it'll help play better, but mostly we're just kind of like, we're just going to try to not get overwhelmed by this. So it's we've seen this we've seen this movie too many times, so we know what the rest of the world is going through. Yeah,
I feel like they're doing it for like popularity. Maybe get a few more likes, a few more clicks, maybe get a few more social media followers, make yourself more famous. And that's the way the world is going anyway, I think. And that's what I've seen the Mosconi Cup the last 2 or 3 years, is that it's becoming more of a show than a actual contest. And it's a bit disappointing, because when I played, I mean, we have a drink with the opposite team on the opening ceremony night. We all meet up. Obviously, we introduce the teams and everything. So you have like a little chat with the opposite team. But as soon as we shake hands to play the match, I mean, that's it. We don't speak. We don't even look at them in the eye. We just try and intimidate them in some way. Try and bully them a little bit, but in a nice way. And it's just all focus on the game. Yeah, we have a bit of fun in between ourselves. But when we was at the table, it was all like we wanted to win so badly. Even when we're losing, whether we're winning, we never took the foot off the pedal. Where now it's gone the opposite way. It's like it's all like a little bit of a pal's act, let's say. And I just feel like it's a bit too nicey, and I feel like the intensity is gone from the competitions. Whether that's a good thing, I don't know. Maybe that's just I need to accept that this is the way it is now.
No, I think it's a terrible thing, especially when you think about an event like that, Darren. But like, why do you think that culture changed? I know, like, and you see that in all sports, whether it's basketball or whatever, where like this, chop each other's head off kind of attitude seems to have shifted, and now it's brought into pool, but it's a big difference compared to like just the hunger, I feel like, from players of your generation versus these kids that we're seeing now.
Yeah, I think maybe COVID changed things a little bit. I think people's got a different perspective on life since COVID. Things have definitely changed. Like when I played, I just wanted to kill them. You know what I mean? And then after the tournament, I go and drink with Shane and Skylar and Justin Bergman, all these guys. You know what I mean? They're good people. But when we're playing, I just want to beat them so badly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I remember
the rest of the team did.
Plenty of those years. I mean, during the match, Mika and Archer and guys, they hated Dennis Head. They hated you during the match. Me
and Dennis had our Dennis, Rodney, Dennis Hatch. We had a lot of big differences. I mean, one time Rodney threatened me outside. He said after the match we're going outside. I said, Rodney, you're about 50 pounds heavier than me, so I think I'll give that one a miss. I mean, I had serious issues with Dennis and Rodney. I had my differences with Earl Strickland.
It was,
but I enjoyed it. It was part of the fun. It was great.
It was good stuff.
It was good. Like you had that needle. That needle.
Yeah, Telfer's going off the air today, but one thing that he is saying that we talked about yesterday, Mike, was get angry. Where is that? I mean, would you want to see that at this point, Darren? Would you, if you were the coach for Team Rest of the World yesterday, would you have gone in there, gone all fire and brimstone and break a couple chairs and get this off, or would you, what would have, how do you get them in that like, killer mindset? Do you have to have that screaming match once?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think I'm a little bit old school. I'm very intense. I'm very emotional. So after that first day, I would have ripped into that team. There's no doubt about it. But do it in a productive way. But I just don't understand why they're so laid back and they're so happy. I just don't get it. but I feel like it's not right. For some reason, look, yeah, I just don't understand what's going on. I don't know what Jeremy's doing behind the scenes. I've hardly seen him this week. I don't even know he's the captain, to be honest. So I'm not too sure what Jeremy's doing behind the scenes there. But I wouldn't be happy if I was in that team room. I wouldn't be happy. That's for sure. I just find it hard to believe that everything looks like it's just an exhibition to them. That's how it feels. You know what I mean?
I think you got a bunch of guys who know when it comes to this event, their asses are safe and have been safe and are going to be safe for the Mosconi Cup. So like that hunger and motivation to like have something to prove or to feed your family or whatever is not there. They kind of got their feet up a little bit. They're gonna ride the wave and on to the next one. And that's why if you're Double J, because I think Double J is a little bit old school, kind of like you, Darren, but it's kind of hard to get through to a bunch of guys who know that like they're kind of untouchable.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit intimidating going in this time because you're sort of up against your rivals a little bit. You're trying to captain your rivals for most of the year because obviously Fedor and Skyler play for USA, and you got 3 guys on the European team. So it's a little bit different mentality, I think, as a captain going in, and also for the players. And I'm not a massive fan of it, to be honest. I think it would have been better if it would have been the winner from the Mosconi Cup. Because I think what they're doing here, it's going to take something away from the Mosconi Cup as well. I think the players are going to become closer, more friendly. So I'm a little bit worried for the Mosconi Cup for that reason as well. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to tell the players. I mean, I enjoyed the criticism. Like when Johan said to me, "Look, you're not doing this right." Like even if you turned up late for breakfast, we would get a real big telling off from Johan, you know what I mean? Or if we turn up late for practice, he would go nuts. You know what I mean?
What was that discipline like from him, Darren? Can you elaborate more on that?
Johan's massive on discipline. He gave us a set time every day, what time we're going to be at breakfast. And if we was 5 minutes late, he'd be knocking on your door. And he wouldn't be happy, and he'd let you know it, you know what I mean? So he had trust in us, so because we respected him so badly. I mean, sometimes there was 1 or 2 guys what took the piss, but in general, it got nipped in the bud very quickly. You know what I mean? And where Marcus, for example, he was a little bit more laid back, but at this time we'd established ourselves. Where obviously when Johan first come in, we was trying to get on level terms with America because obviously America dominated. So Johan turned the structure around, the discipline, the mentality, and that was all down to Johan. People don't realize the influence Johan has as a captain, and we saw it when he took over America.
People do. People know Johan.
But people think because Johan did it for America, now it's going to be easy for someone else to come in and take his job. Right?
No.
So
that's the mistake that's the mistake Matchroom makes.
Definitely.
It's not the mistake most people who've been through that do. You brought up an interesting point before, about going in there and ripping the players a new asshole. Could Jeremy get away with doing that with Jason when Jason Shaw's going to be on Team Europe 3 weeks from now? Would that be too awkward?
Well, I mean, that's another thing as well, isn't it? I'm guessing Jason's going to be the captain again, and Skyler's going to probably be the captain for USA. Yep. So that's not right for me either. I mean, look, when they stop their career or they come to the end of their career, I understand that they are potential captains, but right now the captains should be the guys what's put the work in for the last 10, 15 years who really deserve to be captain, whether that's Niels, Ralph Souquet, myself, whoever. I think unless you're in that inner circle, it's very difficult to get inside it, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. But I ain't knocking Jason. I love Jason. You know what I mean? But he should be focused on playing. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a big job to take on, and I know obviously he's one of those characters, and he's larger than life character. He likes to be involved in everything, and you've seen it this week. Whenever there's a decision to be made, he wants to be there. You know what I mean? So he's made for team events. I understand all that, but at the same time, I mean, you've got to find the right balance. I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's even been times in Jason's, Mosconi career where, you talked about him getting too amped up and getting too involved and having to kind of, temper him down a little bit too. So you still have to have that voice of reason. But, I talked to Niels, I want to say within the last like 3 or 6 months, man. And he made an interesting point as far as like these player captains also getting captain's money as well, Darren. And I want to get your take on that because we were looking at stats. We were looking at stats also before we went into the show, and it's interesting that the guys who are pretty much who were captains last year get pretty much guaranteed captains this year are also playing the least amount of tournaments compared to everybody else as well. Do you think it's by coincidence, Darren?
Well, that's another thing, isn't it? Really, I mean, look, I've spoken to Jason about this, so it's not something I'm talking about it now and behind his back. I'm very upfront with the guy. So the way I see it is that obviously I believe they get the same money as the players. So, for example, Jason's going to get double money. I'm not too sure where that's going to sit with the rest of the players. I mean, obviously there was no vice captain last year. I mean, I think he had an option to have a vice captain. That's down to him. Obviously, he didn't take that option. I'm not too sure if Skylar did. But yeah, I mean,
he wants to share the money.
No, it's just
they don't want to share the money. Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean,
and the thing is, like saying this, it's gotten to be an annuity for Jason. It's turned into an annuity for Sky, where it's like, I don't have to really show up to these events. I don't have to, put in the performance. I don't have to finish in the top 10, and I'm going to get double money come December. Well, that's just not even. That's so far from being right. It's ridiculous.
This is why I don't agree with Mike.
I know Jason's one of the great players of all time in Mosconi Cup, but that aside, it's wrong.
I mean, what happens, right? Let's say Jason's had a terrible season, and let's say Filler had to miss 2 or 3 tournaments. Well, let's say someone else because he's probably not getting the team anyway. But that we'll talk about that soon. But let's say I don't know. Let's say Francisco finishes number 4, right? And then obviously I don't know the Catchy finishes number 5, and they've had really good seasons, and Jason's had an absolute stinker. And he's like number 80 he's number 80 in the rankings, which is possible because it's the way the game is now. But Jason's still guaranteed that pick over Catchy and let's say Francisco. I mean, let's say in 3 or 4 or 5 years' time, do you just keep having Jason as the playing captain?
Just remember this argument. Just remember this argument as what you just said when we start talking about Alvin.
Oh, here we go. Well, look, I want to ask you though, because what does that do to like the culture of the locker room, Darren? Like the other players who are out there grinding, week in and week out and traveling all over the world. Like, what does that do for you in terms of like what your optimism level is or your hunger level is? Like to go out there and compete, knowing the fact that like, hey, that's you already know that's going to happen. It's been happening, and there's a good chance it's going to happen again this year.
Yeah, I mean, to Jason's defense, at least I know he's trying to qualify outright. He's playing as many tournaments as he can, so he's not just he ain't just sitting on his ass and missing loads of tournaments, which he could easily do. You know what I mean? But that would be completely wrong. And obviously, I think he knows that the players wouldn't be happy with that at all. But I know for a fact that obviously it's a little bit of a tricky road to go down. Being a playing captain, knowing you're guaranteed your spot, it just doesn't sit well with me, to be honest. But that's just me. I just think you've got to be very careful with it. Look, if he's in the top 10, we're always going to pick Jason, right? Because of his record in the Mosconi Cup.
Yeah,
he loves it. He is the Mosconi Cup in many ways, and him and Filler have been the main guys for the last like 7 or 8 years. So I understand him getting a wild card, but obviously you've got to be up some. You've got to be in the mix somewhere in the rankings. Like if you're number 30 or 40, then it becomes like a very tricky waters. You know what I mean? And then obviously the players are going to get very upset also. Which I know there's 1 or 2 players what are not happy about it, but that's for like some.
Let's talk about it, Darren.
For other people to talk about, really.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Me and Mike have mentioned Josh at show after show. And what's your take on him being left out of this event for a 2nd year in a row? Wasn't in Mosconi Cup last year. Don't think he's going to be on this year. Give me your take on the kid. You've seen him in the locker room and also from the screen.
Joshua Filler?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm going to say I think he's misunderstood for a start. If you know him as well as I do, he's probably one of the nicest guys on tour, without a doubt. And the way he got treated last year on social media with all the abuse, I'm actually getting emotional thinking about it now. It really affected me personally as well. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have our struggles in life, right? But we've all got to make decisions for our families and our well-being. And the abuse I was reading last year about Joshua Filler, because he made one small mistake or he didn't do this. Look, we all make mistakes, and we're all guilty of that. But at the end of the day, he's got to support his family. He's got to look after his sponsors who look after him because that's his bread and butter. Obviously, he's got a wife. His wife is very important. His wife's like his right arm. He can't live without Pia, right? And the reason for all his success is because of Pia. They are the perfect couple. You never see a perfect couple in your life before in the pool world. I mean, they're made for each other. And I mean, I just couldn't believe the amount of abuse he got and the criticism. Yeah, he might have he didn't own up to a foul or something, and he got ripped to pieces. But you see it every week now. You see it every week. Someone making a foul, and you're thinking, "Oh, why haven't they called it on themselves?" I mean, we had it last week. I mean, it's happening all the time. So obviously, sometimes we all make a mistake. You think, "Oh, yeah, I probably should have. I shouldn't have done that." So look, we all make mistakes, and he's paid the price for it. But for what happened with the Mosconi Cup and the Reyes Cup, I mean, especially when you've qualified as well. And then you've got your fellow players not wanting you in the team because you didn't support this tournament or you didn't support that tournament. End of the day, he has to do what's right for himself. And most of Pia's tournaments are WPA tournaments, right? So let's say he doesn't play WPA tournaments anymore and he only goes and plays matchroom tournaments. He's going to see his wife, maybe 1-2 months of the year. So he has to make a decision what's right for him, his wife, and his family. So that's all he did. And to get the amount of abuse he got for that, it really took a big effect on me, and I took a step back. I basically took a step away from the game just because of that. I just thought I've had enough of this shit. I just don't need it, and I've had it myself for 10, 15 years, 20 years, and eventually it just wears you down. You're thinking you get all these promises, but you feel like once you lose your standing in the game, let's say, you're soon forgotten about, and that's fine. I mean, it's up to me to fill my calendar and do other things, which I am doing, but you soon realize that you're soon kicked to the sidelines at this game, that's for sure.
It doesn't take long to all of a sudden see someone has kind of disappeared. I mean, it really doesn't take long. It's
we see it all the time. We see it all the time. I mean, look, I need to be careful what I say here because I mean, we all seen what's happened to Mika Immonen, right? And obviously he's an unbelievable person and fighter, and he reminds me of myself. I think we had a similar career, we're similar personalities. Yeah. And I know 2 years ago when Mika got diagnosed with cancer, and he was desperate to play in the World Championships when it was in Saudi, and he didn't get a wild card, and that also had a massive effect on me also. And I was in the tournament, and if I could have given up my spot for Mika's playing that tournament, I would have given the spot. That really hit deep with me because I'm a very sensitive person, emotional person, and I've never known anybody who gave 110% like that guy. And so all these type of things with Joshua and Mika and everything else, it really affects me, stuff like that, because these guys they've done so much for the game, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. They're our heroes, you know what I mean? When I first started playing American pool, Mika was my favorite player, so I'll always have that connection with him just because of that reason. And obviously Joshua, in my opinion, the last 7 or 8 years, he's been by far the best player in the world. That's just my opinion. But also, if you ask 90% of the players, they will tell you the same thing. So for him to not be playing in the Reyes Cup and the Mosconi Cup, it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for the game. It's heartbreaking for him, but it's also heartbreaking for the fans, because he is our Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's our Tiger Woods, he's our Roger Federer, he's our Muhammad Ali. He's the guy's a genius, and people got their favorites like Fedor Gorst or Carlo Biado, but Joshua Filler, I mean, he's what, 25, 26, 27 years old. I mean, these politics, they need to be sorted out ASAP, because it's going to do no good for the game at all.
The politics need to be sorted out for sure. But like you said before, too, Josh is making his own decisions for Josh. So, you know, you make your own decisions for yourself. I respect that, but you also live with the consequences. And, you know, as far as Josh in the Reyes Cup and the Mosconi Cup, you know, the Reyes Cup, you know, whether it's right or wrong, Matchroom was pretty open with everybody about, you know, no, you don't play in Hanoi, you're not going to play in Reyes Cup. Whether it was Shane, whether it was Josh, whether it was and they held true to that. Actually, kind of okay with it. Mosconi Cup's
I mean, to me, the rules are the rules.
Mosconi Cup, if he's in the top 3 points wise after Philippines, and they don't put him in Mosconi Cup, then it's a different rule, because they're not making players play in the Philippines Open to qualify for Mosconi. You know, they're not. You know, ranking. So if he gets left off of Mosconi Cup, then to me it's a different story. Then they're going out of their way to keep him out. And I'm like, I want to see him in there. Listen, when social media is brutal, as far as Jimmy, as far as bullying goes, and to Josh, like any other argument that starts against somebody on social media gets like way. Now, Mike and I were both in the front line at the beginning on Josh, you know, criticizing him for the way he handled things, standing respecting his you know, his freedom in making those decisions, but questioning him. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. But you know, the continual piling on and really nasty stuff. Yeah, I agree with you. That got way out of control, and he pulled back, which is a shame, because he's pulled back to the point where it's kind of he and Pia against the world. You know, and they're getting more active in social media and with reels and all that stuff, and it's great to see. But he's not that out there embracing pool fans and hanging with his players, things like that. And I want to see more of that from Josh, because he is a really nice person and pretty genuine, and you know, so you want to see that come out of him, because he, like you said, he can be that Tiger Woods. He can be that poster boy that gets people, whether they're white hats or black hats, that gets people watching pool more. And his talent's, like you said, off the charts.
I remember, so it wasn't this past U.S. Open because I wasn't there, but it was the year prior. And one night we went out to dinner with Pancake and Moritz and Pius and Josh, and I'm trying to, probably Frank. Love Frank, good guy. And anyway, I was sitting next to Josh, and we got on really well. You know what I mean? I consider Josh a friend, being out there and covering shit. And but I remember during that dinner, you know, he was showing me, and now you kind of see it on social media on the Killer Fillers page, but it was them talking about how they were going to be building. They had just bought some land and they were going to be building their new house, right? So fast forward like a month or whatever later, when all that shit like really hit the fan, you know what I mean, with him in the World 8 Ball and all that stuff. And I kept all that close to the vest because I didn't want to put his business out there. You know, that was him and his personal life and all that. But you got to think, man, it's pretty fucking brutal considering the limited amount of money that these guys go and make, that you guys go and make already as it is. And then to go and short the guy another, whatever it was, 40 and 15, I guess, 55,000. You know what I mean? For leaving him off the team when he's trying to do, you talk about his family, and I know they don't have any kids, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? They're building a house and trying to put some roots down, and it's just like, man. And that part never came out because that was his own personal stuff. But it's just like, that's the part where it really sucks the life out of you, you know. And I can understand him pulling away after getting treated like that, especially considering the fact that, listen, that guy is box office, and there's not a lot of guys on the tour that can do what he does and be able to play at the level that he does.
Without a doubt. And I think what's happened now with Joshua is that he has pulled back a little bit from the industry. I mean, I spoke to him in Vietnam, and I can sense it. I can feel it that he's a little bit more cautious now. He's not as open and as forthcoming as what he used to be. And I don't blame him, because I'm a little bit that way. I've stepped back. I don't hang about with these pool players anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, I was very close to a lot of the pool players where I've stepped back because of all this rubbish. Really, it does grind you down. You know what I mean? And so Joshua's looking after number one, obviously his wife as well, which she is number one, really.
Yeah, she is number one. Yeah.
so yeah. I mean, Joshua and Pia, they've become a business, and they've even come out that it's us against the world, and I don't blame them. Just because of the way the game is. I think sometimes you've got to be selfish. You've got to step back and think, right, it's time to do what's right for us, not anybody else. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they're right. You know what I mean? Because in 20, 30 years' time, they're going to have to stand on their own 2 feet, and they're going to have to make a different type of earning and a different type of career. Because obviously, we all want to play pool to a great level for a long time, but realistically, unless you're very special, once you get to 40, 50 years old, it's you're done, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, like we said, I mean, it's just very, very, very disappointing when you're watching these events. And in my opinion, it's like, I mean, if you watch his displays in the last 2 or 3 Mosconi Cups he played in, I mean, it was a joke, you know what I mean? I've never seen pool like that before in the Mosconi Cup. The last 2 or 3 times what Joshua played in it's just different level, you know what I mean? And even if you're a USA fan or Asia fan, whatever, you can't not enjoy watching that, you know what I mean? And that's why we need people like Joshua in the team. Yeah. So this is my argument with Mike, is that obviously Halbin's not having the best of time, right? But again, this is another story where Halbin got grinded down last year, and obviously it took a big effect on him. So obviously his game's dropped a little bit. But as a team player and a doubles player, I mean, last year, I'm pretty sure that the team wanted him in the team, but obviously he went down the same road as Joshua, so that's why he didn't get picked. And obviously this year he's not had the best of years. Obviously won the World 8-Ball Championship last week, so it looks like he's in a better place. You know what I mean? But I mean, it looks like he's in a better place now. He's 35 years old, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. But again, you just feel like he's been pushed out the door a little bit. He's like took a step back from the pool world, and it's disappointing because when I've played with these guys, I mean, I played with Albin in the Mosconi Cup, and without a doubt, I've played with them all. Ralph Souquet, Neil's fine. I think Albin's the best doubles player I've ever seen, just because of his calm demeanor, his composure, his shot selection. He's just He's just so easy to play with. You know what I mean? So. I mean, what I was saying to you, Mike, yesterday is that a good Halbin Housen and obviously a Joshua Filler, you put them in that rest of the world team, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? So it's disappointing.
No one's going to argue that, but what my argument with you was, if you're going to say you need to be on merit, be able to play well, and just know that you're going to have a spot. That's where I draw the line. Albin, I love it. And he's a phenomenal Mosconi player. I don't know that you save a spot for someone who's not performing because he's a great doubles player, because that's 2 or 3 matches.
I probably worded it wrong, really. I probably worded it wrong. I really meant Halbin, who I know, I mean, is if he's playing decent, and obviously you've got like free wild cards. I mean, they picked a wild card where, no disrespect to Skyler, he's not had the best year, right?
No. But that was
you've got to pick an American.
Let me ask you this: if you're picking your 5 guys for the rest of the world, Darren, who are you going with today?
Today?
Yeah.
Well, because I played in the King's Cup in 2015 against Asia, and we actually won.
I remember
Just put it out there. That we did win, but at this time it was really good. It was me, Shane, Mika was the captain actually, and Albin Housen. So we played against Ephraim, Bustamante, the Copigny brothers, and can't remember the 5th player. Can't remember the 5th player, but obviously Asian player. They all play good. So anyway, we went there and we won. I think we won like I think it was maybe 10-9. I think we won 10-9, right? But but we had a format where it'd be 4 against 4, and then you'd have doubles, singles, doubles, and Shane Van Bonen was the MVP, right? And he played the best I've ever seen him play in a team event. But I don't know if it's because he was with us at that time, I was a decent player then. Obviously, Mika could still play, and Albin was world champion. So maybe he felt more comfortable with us. I don't know. I'm guessing so. He played amazing. He played unbelievable, and he was the MVP. He was by far our best player.
He had to carry the load like he does for Team USA.
Yeah.
And I think he won. I think he won 9 out of 10 games he was involved in. You know what I mean? So his record was unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, if I'm picking the team for the rest of the world, then obviously I'd be picking Joshua Filler. I'd probably pick Shane because I think I can get a good tune out of him. And he's still one of the best players in the world. I'd have Jason because of he's like he's just Jason. He's just made for team events. And then if Albin's playing well, I'd have Albin. And then I'm trying to think who the other one was. Who's in the team now? So yeah, I'd have Fedor Ghost. Fedor. Yeah. So it'd be Fedor, Shane, Jason, Albin, and Joshua. That'd be my 5. If I could pick the 5 players, if they're all playing well, they're the 5 guys what I would like in my team. But there's other great players out there like Kachi. But I think Kachi's still got to prove it in the team environment. Francisco Ruiz is a bit inconsistent with the team events. So yeah, I mean, there's many great players out there. So when I hear all this stuff online that Europe can't compete with the rest of Asia, I just don't believe it. But you got to get the right. I think the team doesn't need a coach; they need a leader, right? A captain to me is a leader. You've got to get that team ticking properly, and you've got to get him. You've got to get them ready and prepared, and that's the key, I think, to being a captain. And then, so yeah, I think that's what I would like to one day have an opportunity of doing, just because I've learned a lot from people like Johan, and all these guys. You know what I mean? So you're always picking something up from every captain you've worked with. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that'd be my team, that's for sure. And then obviously.
How important is that trust factor, Darren, when it comes to the guys who are sitting to your left and your right? Because it seems like when I'm watching Team Rest of the World, that there's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of uncertainty, and then it kind of creeps into their own game. There's a lot of questioning among each other. You know, we're like they're not comfortable, they're not confident, and maybe it's just me reading too much into body language. But I want to get your take on that, Darren.
Yeah, it seems. It's just, to me, you've got to have that trust with each other. So it's like when me and Carl used to play together. I mean, Carl didn't have the best safety game, but he was a great shooter, right? So we even made our mind up before we even went out there that, look, if there's a safety shot, I'll worry about the safety play. If there's a long pot, if you're playing decent, you'll take care of all the long pots, right? So that was always our strategy. And but me and Carl liked talking also, but that's because we understood each other. So you've got to make sure that you understand each other and you're on the same wavelength before you go out there. So when I went to play with Ralph Souquet, for example, I'm not going to start telling Ralph Souquet, look, I think you should be playing this safety shot or you should be playing that safety shot. I mean, the guy's like been a legend for 20 years. It's not really my place to say to Ralph, look, I want you to put it there. I want you to play this shot. I'll just say to Ralph, I says, look, Ralph, just play your shot. But if you need any help, give us a shout. But I'll definitely need your help at some point. So be ready. You know what I mean? But that's just a respect thing. You know what I mean? It's just out of respect. Same with Niels Fine. When I played with Niels Fine, we didn't need to talk. You know what I mean? We just knew each other's game inside out. Nick Vandenberg was another great team player, very underrated. Right? He just knew the game inside out. I mean, Nikos, all these guys, they're just easy to play with them, you know what I mean? So, and sometimes we lose and play well, you know what I mean? But long as you're on the same track and you're on the same wavelength and you're thinking in the same direction, then the game's easy, really. But I mean, watching this week, I mean, it's like a train wreck, to be honest. I mean, I can't believe what I've been watching. I'm astonished that someone like Francisco Ruiz has got a push out after the break. Right, and he's asking 2 or 3 guys to come and discuss.
Well,
the
you
next
think
shot.
that we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and I noticed the same thing you did, where they'd have 3 and 4 guys out there, and I'm thinking, God, this guy's head's got to explode. But I think, do you think that he's so like flustered right now and unconfident that he felt like he needs to have them out there telling him what to do?
Definitely, I think so. I think what happened is that he had a bad start to day one, and it affected him. And then I think because he's got all those great players around him, but I don't think Francisco Ruiz really realizes how good he is, right? So because I think out of all the team, I think he is the best safety player out of all of them, right? Maybe Fedor as well.
Fedor,
so
I was going to say, yeah.
Fedor and Ruiz, I think their safety game's top notch, right? Where Jason's an amazing shot maker. So they've all got their strengths and weaknesses, but I just couldn't believe that you've got all those guys stepping up there wanting to have an input, and I think it gets overwhelming, and then it affects your confidence, and then it affects your ability to play the shot, because you're thinking, right, if I play this shot wrong, they're going to be saying, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, and then you're in a bad hole there. It's a very tricky,
especially when you've got two or three guys
telling
you at the same time. Two or three guys telling you something at the same time. Like I said, I was watching him yesterday, just take in all this information, and I thought, there's no way in the world he plays this right, because he's got so much shit in his head right now before he shoots that there's no way he just makes a nice shot, and he did.
Yeah, it's just not right. I mean, they're such great players. I mean, they play all these shots all the time, and you're playing 9-ball. It's not like you're playing one pocket where you've got loads of options. I mean, you're playing 9-ball. I mean, there's only 2 or 3 shots you can play. I mean, it's like an ego trip, to be honest. It looks like they're all on this big ego trip when they're out there, and it just blows my mind. I would imagine Jeremy's fuming in the dressing room. I'd be shocked if they're not having proper words with them. You know what I mean? I just find it amazing.
Well, I mean, it's fine now, but the horse has already left the barn. I mean, it's you can yell all you want at this point.
But when do you learn your lesson? Because they did exactly the same thing last year. They did the same thing last year, though. I just don't get it. I mean, look, I'm just flabbergasted, to be honest. I mean, look, I know Johan's in the chat here. If Johan was look, if Johan was captain or whatever, there's no way we'd be losing 9-1. That's for sure. And you wouldn't see any of this rubbish. What's going on?
Talk to me about the class of the Asians, though, Darren, because they've played some pretty stellar pool, and that's putting it mildly. And for back-to-back years now, what everyone thought they could be, they've turned into.
Well, and I don't even think they've played anywhere near their best, except for maybe Carlo. I think Carlo's a sick. He's a sick man. I think we spoke about it off air. He don't get the credit he deserves. I've been playing this guy for 15, 16 years. The guy's a joke. And I still don't think he's like classed as like the top 4 or 5 players in the world in people's mind. He's without doubt one of the best players in the world. I think he's the only one left out of all the old school players where he plays the game on just feel, just beauty. It's just a pleasure to watch him play. It was actually a pleasure to play against him so many times. But to watch him play and just how he goes about his business and his knowledge of the game and the way he played in that last doubles there, and he made Yap look good. He made Yap look good because Yap, you could see that Yap wasn't on his game. He's not happy with his equipment.
He was all over the place.
I think he's got a new cue, a new sponsor, so he isn't comfortable. But Yap, being the professional he is, he just let Carlo take the lead. He just kept it very simple. He played centre ball shots, did Yap, because he's not confident about playing with spin. But Carlo, I mean, he's just unbelievable. He's just a genius. The guy doesn't get the credit he deserves. And even last year, I know Yap got the MVP, but even last year, Carlo was a monster in that Reyes Cup. And
I think Carlo's playing a lot better this year than he did last year. And I think
probably.
Too. We talked about it before, Mike and I. Carlo last year and Chua last year, I think they felt a little more heat. Being in Manila with the first time at the event, and the high expectations are so high. This year, both of them are like freewheeling. They're just.
But what I love with Carlo is composure. I love how he just steps back from the table, takes a deep breath, just has a look in the air, chalks his cue. He's just demeanor, his composure is just amazing. You know what I mean? I've really seen how much he's grown in the let's say the last 5 years, because like 10, 15 years ago, he was always a great player, but I thought, but I don't know if he can handle the pressure. But obviously, it's not that he couldn't handle the pressure. He just had a different demeanor. Where now he's like unbelievable. And then you got Yap, who's just a machine. The young kid's got a lot of potential. I know there's a lot of talk about him being like the next world champion, the best player in the world. I'm not sure about that. I think he needs to work on his stroke a little bit. He's very talented and he's amazing.
Very talented,
but I still think he needs to work a little bit on his stroke. I think it's a little bit long, a little bit windy. But if he tightens his stroke up a little bit, maybe he could be the best player in the world. And then the other two guys, Dong is just solid, isn't he? Dong he's just solid player, very solid, very steady. Which you want. That's what you want in a team play. He's a tough man to beat, as you saw with Skyler. And then the last one, I mean, Chewer's Chewer. You know what I mean? Chewer's a great shot maker, and you can see that Chewer's made. He's made for team play.
Yeah, we saw that last.
And they've got Buster Matt. It looks like Buster Matt he's done a good job. He looked like he's loving it. He's really involved. He looks like he's saying the right things to his team. So Buster Matt has really impressed me with his captaincy, what I've seen on the outside.
Even if you were to put together what you would dub as your best players in the world, do you think that they would still have a chance against this Asian team?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think if we get the best 5 players and we get the right leader, let's say Johan, for example, there's no reason why we can't go to Asia and win. Because I mean, they're world-class players. I mean, we've got Fedor Gorst, we've got Joshua Phillip, Jason Shaw, Shane Van Bonen. Jesus Christ! I mean, in some ways, on paper, you probably say we're slight favourites, but these Asians, they're just different, aren't they? It's just obviously they're on a great roll at the moment. The last 2 years, they've started to just get the edge over the Europeans. But I mean, if you get the right chemistry, get the right team, and get them to take it serious as well. I mean, that's the disappointing thing for me. There's no intensity. It doesn't look like they're ready to win. You know what I mean? Where you look at the Asians, they want to win really badly. You can see it. They're playing to win. There's no messing around. You know what I mean?
You can see that every match. It doesn't matter. Like they're playing like it's 5-4. They're not playing like they're up 7.
That's very noticeable. Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah, without a doubt. You see them Asians, they want to win really, really badly. Because at the end of the day, it's their Mosconi Cup. And maybe we've been spoiled a little bit with the Mosconi Cup over the years. We've got 3,000 people in the stands. And they're using this as like a warm-up. It looks like to me the rest of the world are using this event as a warm-up for the Mosconi Cup, and that's wrong.
But it's very different, though, Darren. I wanted to ask you about the energy in the crowd because it's very different compared to what we're used to seeing each and every December. Like, how much of a factor do you feel like that's playing on the execution level of the Asian team? Now, I know they're all monster champions in their own right, but like it's a different environment once you bring in 3,000 plus people on the edge of their seats.
Well, I mean, I've played at Alexandra Palace when it was like 2,000 or something, and it was amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I felt a better atmosphere when we played at York Hall with 500 or 600 people because the crowd was on top of the table.
Right on top of you.
You knew every single person in that crowd. It was rather somebody from America who you knew, somebody from Europe you knew, or it was your grandma or something. You know what I mean? There was everywhere, and there was right on top of you. The atmosphere was incredible. I mean, Mike, you was there, right? And then even when we played in Las Vegas, when we had 1,000 people, and again, we had that circle, it was like at the Mirage. So I think it would be better because it looks like there's like a good 500 or 600 people in the crowd today. But the stadium's like huge, you know. So I think it would be better. I think it'd be a lot better if they just build a arena around the table so that you've got normal stands, right? Because then it's going to be packed. The atmosphere is going to be incredible, and it's going to be more intense and better for everybody, really. And you can still have your VIP seating, no problem, like they do at the Mosconi. So I think it would be better if they make it a bit more. Make them more closer to the table, you know what I mean, and get on top of the table. Then it'd be amazing, you know what I mean. And then we see the atmosphere then, because at the end of the day, when we watch sports now, we want to feel the atmosphere. We go for the atmosphere. It's like me when I go to Manchester United football games, I go there for the atmosphere and have a good time and get entertained and all the chanting, all the singing, you know what I mean? It's all fun. But if there's nobody in the crowd, like during COVID, for example, it's rubbish, you know what I mean? It's painful to watch. So that's how it feels like a little bit.
How do you balance that with some of these guys where it looks like they're trying to play up to the crowd even though they're out of it? And I'm talking more so on the rest of the world side because the Asians got all the right in the world to go and celebrate every win that they go and make and every 9-ball they go and make, where it seems like it's too forced.
I understand if you're 7-0 down or you're 8-0 down, then you just try and go out and enjoy it. But on the table, you should be still doing the right things, though, and making it look respectable. But I don't know. I mean, it's like yesterday. I mean, was it like 4-0 or something? I think it was 4-0 yesterday, and one of the players is like between the racks. He's gone out there with his phone and he's FaceTiming with Fedor, and they're talking to somebody on the phone while the game's getting played. I mean, if that was me, I'll have gone crazy. I mean, to me, it's like once it's game time, you've got to be focused, aren't you? You've got to. Your phone shouldn't even be in your pocket when you're out there playing. They should be in the changing room.
We saw that last year when everybody who was off camera, all the Europeans in the back, were all sitting there on their phone, Darren. Every single one of them.
I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's just. But times have changed. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's us, Mike. We're too old and we're old school. I don't know. I just
you know, it's just you.
It. I mean,
yeah, I knew that was coming.
If I'd have been there yesterday, I would have got that phone and smashed it on the floor. I'll tell you now. It really wound me up, and I'm not even playing. You know what I mean? I'm not even part of it anymore. But it just really winds me up, stuff like that. I'm just thinking like, come on, guys. You know what I mean? It's just disappointing. You know what I mean? It's just little things like that. I'm thinking like, you're not taking this serious. I was going to swear then. You're losing 4-0. You know what I mean? 5-0. I mean, you should be like trying your absolute best and giving it everything. It's like even the shot selection. The shot selection has been shocking from the rest of the world. You know what I mean? The decision making, it's just been terrible. I'm just amazed at what I've seen, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
What do you got, Mike?
And no. I mean, those are all great points. I mean, you see, you know, and I don't know, you know, the decision making, the shot making, or the shot selection. You know, maybe that's, you know, an impact of these guys playing together as a team for the first time, where you're mixing in with the Europeans or whatever, and you know what it's like, you know, when you're trying to think too much, and you yourself confused on what should be a super easy decision. You see people under pressure late in the match, late in the rack, do that where you can tell it's up with them mentally, and they just make decisions like, oh, he would have never done that in any other match at any other time in the tournament. And maybe it's a team dynamic where they just don't feel comfortable with each other, where they're outthinking themselves or overthinking shots.
Yep, and there was a situation. There's been a few situations where they're losing 3-0, for example, and they're trying to play a trick shot. They're like playing trick shots, like playing like they're looking for that big shot. So it's going to be an highlight reel. I mean, I've seen a few of those, and I was fuming. Just because if that was my teammate, I'd have him up in the wall in the dressing room. I'd be absolutely fuming. I just don't understand it. I mean, you're playing for a team, you know what I mean? If you play singles, do whatever you want. But when you're playing for your team, you can't be doing that shit.
What does this do to the rivalry and the competitiveness and the like fire that you have seen or haven't seen in the Mosconi Cup, and what you expect in a couple of months?
Yeah, I know. It's a bit. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about it. I'm a little bit worried that it's all gonna be all like very friendly now. I'm saying like this is what maybe it's the way. Maybe I need to get with the times. Maybe that's the way to go. He's like kiss and hug each other after every game. You know what I mean? Go and high five. Go and sit next to the opposing team in the match. I don't know. Maybe play mixed doubles. I don't know. This is the way the game's going, isn't it? It's just unbelievable. I like that rivalry. Like the Ryder Cup still got the rivalry, right? I watched the Ryder Cup 2 weeks ago. It was amazing. The rivalry was amazing between the players and the fans. It was unbelievable. I don't like the New Yorkers took it to a little bit of a step too far, but I love that shit. You know what I mean? I mean, I love that little bit of needle, the intensity. You want to win so badly. You want to feel the pressure like you never felt pressure before in your life, and that's what you get. That's the way it should be in the Mosconi. Where this tournament, I don't feel like the players are playing under pressure. I don't feel like they're putting themselves under pressure. You know what I mean? It's just weird. I mean, Jason. I mean, I love Jason. He's one of the greatest team players I've ever seen. But this week, I mean, it's probably the worst I've ever seen him play.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like he's bothered. You know what I mean?
That's the part that's more concerning than anything else. It's the not looking bothered by the performance. And I get wanting to keep it light, and you can only do but so much, and you can't go out there and make up a 9-match deficit or whatever, like in one rack. I understand all that, but like if there's no fire, then like as a fan, from the fan side of it, then what's your fucking hope to want to go and watch something that's just going to be like this?
There's no interest.
Look at Fedor. Fedor as well. Like, I mean, Fedor, I love Fedor. He's a great guy, right? Obviously, one of the best players in the world. But when he's playing singles, he's so serious, it's unbelievable. When I watch him play all these tournaments and he wins all these tournaments, he never cracks a smile. But in this team event, even when he's losing, he's smiling, joking all the time. I think that isn't the Fedor Ghost, what I know.
Yeah,
like laughing and joking and between racks, and he's singing and dancing, all this stuff. Just look. I know you want to enjoy yourself, you want to impose yourself, but you've got to be yourself. You've got to be the person you are when you're out there. You know what I mean?
I think it's just too worried about the image versus forget. Like
maybe
you still got to go out there and fucking win. Like when I saw them leaving Hanoi and he's taking a selfie with AJ, and I'm like, y'all are about to be at each other's throats, you know, in 2 days. Like in this is what you're putting out there to go and tag someone with a big following. And I get it, like you want to build your brand, but it's like, goddamn, it totally waters down that competitive side of it. And I think you're seeing that when it's like there's no hunger, there's no want to kill. You know what I mean? They don't want to step on each other's throats. And yeah, I love more that old school mentality, and it's completely just left the room. It feels like when you see some of these guys out there going and playing, Darren.
Yeah, I think it's like Johan says, you've got to find the right balance. If you find the right balance, and having that bit of fun and all that stuff's fine, but you've got to make sure you perform on the table. The number one thing is make sure you perform on the table, and then you can do whatever you want. Yeah. But if you're not performing on the table and you're still doing that stuff, I wouldn't allow it. There's no way I would allow that shit. No chance.
Yeah. Darren, you posted on social media a lot over the last couple of days. You posted on there about some masterclass you had going on. You just came back from Vietnam as well. Talk to me about what you're getting into these days and how fans can go and support you as well.
Well, in Vietnam, I've basically become their national coach. I'm working for a company called Box Promotions, which are doing a lot for billiards right now, and they're just going to keep growing and growing. Amazing company, amazing people. They're a massive team, and they're also going to try and get into the American market as well. So they're going to help pull worldwide. So yeah, I'm basically the coach in Vietnam. I'm contracted to do 3 to 6 months a year. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. Great people, great culture, as most of you know. It's just an amazing country, and it's the pull in Vietnam is just unbelievable. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it. You just drive down the street, and they've rather opened a pool room, or they're opening pool rooms, or they're building pool rooms. It's just incredible, and they're all packed. You know what I mean? They're all packed. So in the next 5 years, there's going to be some potential world champions. There's going to be world championship caliber players. They're going to come out the woodwork. The younger players are just unbelievable. And it's a little bit like that in Indonesia also, and China. And then obviously on the flip side, I've just finished a 17-day masterclass course with some French people, some friends of mine, professional guys when it comes to videography and stuff like that. So they come here. We did 17 days of filming of basically coaching, really, doing all the like a masterclass. So like there's going to be a lot of in-game commentary.
Online.
Oh, yeah, so I basically cover every aspect of the game you can think of: 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball, straight pull, one pocket, all them games, doing the basics of the games and everything else. So that's going to be available to purchase online maybe mid-December. So a lot of you will have seen what Niels Fine's done, and he's done a great job with the Terminator College. So it's a little bit like that, a little bit different. But yeah, it's something I wanted to do for a long time. So yeah, we put a lot of work into it. I put my heart and soul into it, really. It's probably the biggest project I've ever done. So yeah, let's see what happens. Hopefully people like it, and it's a success.
We'll keep an eye out. We'll make sure and post it on Windows Open as well once you get going and get the website up and all that good stuff. Obviously, multiple-time world champion. Mike, you got anything else before we get out of here? I can't hear you, Mike. Did you put yourself on mute? All I see is
that's the best thing to happen.
There you go. Yeah.
I did put myself on mute. I was snoring because I was nodding off. But no, it's been great seeing Daz. We don't see enough. I wish he was still on the States. I wish you were coming over for the International Open so you could go to the Hall of Fame banquet.
I think I'm going to come.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Jack.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to come for the International Open because one of my favorite players, Carlo, is getting inducted, so that's great.
Good.
And also, I have to be in America in December anyway because I've got a few business meetings. So yeah, I'm gonna make an appearance just because it's Pat Fleming's tournament, and I love Pat Fleming. Obviously, we've got the Hall of Fame there as well, so with Carlo, so that should be great. And yeah, so I'll probably be there.
Give me
good. That would be great.
Give me some predictions, boys, for tomorrow. How many points you think does?
I keep thinking it's
get?
over.
It's 9-1. They still got 2 more points to get to.
All right, so how many matches tomorrow? What's the over under on matches?
Well, the worst part about it is that we haven't really won a point, have we? I mean, the only point we've got is the team game where all 5 play, and it was actually very lucky to win that. So I don't know. I mean, it's over, isn't it? I mean, we'll be lucky to get 3 points.
Yeah.
So I guess it's going to be 11-2, and that's it, isn't it?
So they'll play 3 matches tomorrow. Is what Darren's saying.
2 more points.
Tomorrow's the final day, right?
Yeah.
4 matches.
Oh my God! I mean,
what do you think, Mike?
11-2, 11-3.
I think that it'll go.
Mike's in a comeback. Big comeback.
No, it's going to go 4 matches. It'll end
11-4. You think they're going to get 11-4?
Who's left to play the singles?
Your Asian needs 2, so it'll go 4 matches. It'll end up 11-3, and I mean, who's going to be MVP? I mean, Jesus, it's just
yeah, I guess. Well, I guess all of them.
Everybody's won every point.
They're all the same amount of points. No, I'm serious.
Just give it most the money.
Yeah. Well, with what I've seen so far, I'd probably say Carlo just because of the way he's played, but also the young kid because obviously it's his debut, and I don't think he's lost yet. So yeah, but I don't know. I think is there still one more singles left in the regular play? I'm trying to think which players not playing. I think
we haven't even seen Jason play, have we? Have we seen Jason play as singles?
Yeah, Jason's supposed to play Yap. So I think the first match tomorrow is Yap against Jason. Yap against Jason, yeah.
Think about that for a second. It's going to be day 4 of the Mosconi Cup, whatever, Reyes Cup, and you haven't seen Jason Shaw play a singles. That's
unbelievable.
That's wild.
I mean, I have been funny, but I mean, Moritz played the first singles on day 1.
Yeah, against Carlo.
There you go. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just unbelievable. And yeah, you're playing Carlo as well. Jesus Christ. I don't know. It's just.
Tell us how you really
it's amazing, really. Sorry. I just I can't hold back sometimes.
I love it, man.
That's why we have you on, man.
Yeah,
I know. Whatever. You get me in trouble.
Speaking of having people on, I hope Johan's still in the chat. Let's message each other and get you on one of these shows, Johan, and talk about.
You should get Johan on tomorrow. Johan,
if you're free, Johan,
Yeah, definitely want to get you on after this and before Mosconi and get some insight. Would be great.
Darren, go enjoy your evening. We appreciate your time as always. Wish you good health and good success with your upcoming projects, man. Thanks, Mike, for hanging out with us. Thanks all you guys as well. We'll see all you guys tomorrow. Johan, I'll be sending you a